So this happened again.
It looks like you've been in a crash. iPhone will trigger emergency SOS if you don't respond.
But there was no way I was gonna miss this dyno appointment. So what we have here is a very underrated Mercedes inline-six engine. Few people know about. I spent the last couple of years building it into my C180 W203 with big goals in mind. First time on the dyno, it made some decent power, but of course I wanted more. But I was trying to make power without enough fuel for these power goals. To make up for the lack of fuel, I decided to add 2 extra 680cc injectors to the intake. These injectors and fuel rail are off a jet ski, but now they need to help me reach my goals. I made some custom fittings and welded them to the bottom of the intake, so these could slide in and mount up solid. With the extra injectors and the fuel supply line added for them, I could move on to getting them wired to the ECU, and this way we can control the amount of fuel going through these injectors. We'll basically have their own tuning table. And that's when we got hit with a record amount of rain. And unfortunately, I couldn't get the car to the dyno. That's kind of why I didn't post a video last week. Things were pretty hectic. To sum this up, I have one power wire going from the battery positive to those 2 injectors, and then the other negative wire runs in this yellow wire, and then I'll simply connect it up to this blue and black wire. That will trigger the injectors, and that's all there is to it. Simple as that. But soon enough the rain stopped, and I wanted to do one more thing, and that is to get the rear bumper off the car so that we can easily and securely strap it on the dyno. It took us about an hour the last time we went to the dyno because there's no real good mounting points for the straps. I had to crawl around under the car and strap it to the rear subframe, so by removing the rear bumper, this will just save a lot of time. Now I thought I could get this bumper off without having to remove the taillights, but I soon found out there are 2 more bolts that you need to access once you have the taillights removed. Those were a real pain to get out, but with that done, I could go ahead and pull off the rear bumper, exposing the crash bar underneath, which will be a perfect mounting spot for the dyno straps. Now, on the day of the dyno, I quickly wanted to take the car around the block just to test everything out. And well, mistakes were made. I won't even wish this on my worst enemy. Having the hood fly open at about 80 kilometers an hour, hitting the windshield so hard it sounds like a gunshot, and instantly you can't see a thing in front of you. This is me in full panic mode. I didn't want to hit the curb on the left, and of course I had to choose the busiest street to do this. Fuck. For some reason, the car also died. Not only that, but my iPhone was freaking out too.
It looks like you've been in a crash. iPhone will trigger emergency SOS if you don't respond.
So I got her to shut up, couldn't get the car started, so I had to push it into someone's driveway and phone a friend. I can't even explain how upset I am with myself. For those of you who know, just the other day the same exact thing happened to the C400, so now we have some dents over there, and then when you look over on the M104 we have the exact same dents, and then obviously the windshield shattered, and I messed up my recently polished hood. But I'm not going to let that stop me from getting this thing on the dyno. So I have the 204, so now I'm just going to tow the M104 Turbo over there, because that's kind of illegal. I really can't afford to get a ticket right now. So let's hook it up to the 204 and head on out to the dyno. No matter how ready you think you are for dyno day, something is bound to go wrong. Luckily this time, nothing too serious, just the one boost pipe that couldn't handle all the boost. As you can see by the puff of black smoke, those two extra injectors are already doing exactly what they need to do. But the boost pipe popped off once again. I had to get that back on there so that we can start turning up the boost now that we have enough fuel. Turning up the boost in small increments, not to blow this thing up. few runs in, we were starting to make some good power. On this run, we already made 30 kilowatts more than ever before. Turned it up a bit more. And this time it made over 320 kilowatts. However, this is at the flywheel. So we did one more run to see what the M104 makes for power at 0.8 bar of boost and enough fuel to make the power. We ended the day off at 306 kilowatts at the rear wheels and 526 Newton meters of torque. So after a very successful dyno session, I headed straight back home to do one more check. I wanted to pull out all the spark plugs to check and see if there's any obvious discoloration between the cylinders. That will be a good indication if one of the cylinders isn't getting enough fuel, but to my untrained eye, these look exactly the same, all 6 of them. So all 6 cylinders are getting the same amount of fuel. So these 2 extra injectors are working perfect. And there we have it. I told you guys the M104 had some big potential, and with those extra injectors in the intake, I shouldn't say this, but we can turn it up even more, but we won't go there yet. Over 400 horsepower to the rear wheels is the most power it has ever made. Very unfortunate that I won't be able to experience that power anytime soon. I'm still beating myself up for this stupid mistake. This is so much damage. The window, the roof, the hood. But oh well, it happened. I'll just have to fix it. However, as you can see, I have it closed up at the moment because I won't be fixing it right away. I'm actually on my way to the mother city for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I think by the time you guys watch this video, I've already landed in Cape Town to help out a friend on some of his projects. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss this adventure. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!